Hello, welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we'll look at another mod, which is a continuation of a mod that I showcased the other week. So yes, back then I was showcasing the Pulley System mod, which was basically a cobbled together super long piston for you to use as a extended cargo hook or an elevator, a super long elevator in a structure or a ship. But no, the mod has been fully realized into a proper mod, where as you can see right behind me, we've now got small block variants, we've got a large block version, all with their own unique model that will once again actually animate when we go and use them later on. So yes, this is on an unpowered grid, so I cannot show you what's going on here, but if I peer across to the right hand side, what we've got is a massive structure I set up earlier to showcase the actual range of these things, and well, they've got power, so we can actually see them functioning in just a moment. So we've got the tiny small block version, which can go up to 50 meters, great for a small block ship if you want to, like I said, have a small cargo hook. And then we've got one which goes to 200 meters, once again a small block grid. And then the big boy, much like the previous video, in fact it's got the exact same range, is 500 meters, which you can see all the way up there. So yes, like I said, these are pistons, so you can build onto the end of them. So if you want to do, well, these will be upside down, but just imagine they're upside down. You can build a platform on the bottom of this and have a gigantic elevator, if that's what we want to do. You can put magnetic plate, but landing legs below this thing, so you can just go and grab hold of stuff and yonk it away. Or, well, whatever you want to do with these things is entirely up to you. Yes, a demonstration is in order, because I'm not going to go through all the stuff I did in the previous video, or at least try not to go through all the stuff I did in the previous video. So we're just going to skip over to the demonstration for having a look at the model. So coming all the way up to here with my character, 200 meters, and here we are for the teeny tiny one, which I placed on some hazard skin for a bit of decorative flair. And with the button that just magically appeared, and I'm going to hit into this, here we go, now I'm going to find the small pulley, which should be, if I actually can find it, I'm going to have to type in pulley in here, actually find where it is, there is the tiny one, and I'm simply going to hit reverse, and down it goes. Looking across to here, that's how it's animated on the side, it simply twiddles around, same on the opposite, there we go, and nothing else is moving on that, with the free camera all the way down, and here it moves all the way down. Once again, this is not an actual magnetic plate by itself, it's simply a bottom of a piston head with no actual conveyor system on it, so it cannot transfer goods from one end to the other. You have to build off the thing with what you want to do with it. That's going to come all the way down like a lead weight, till it reaches, well, the bottom of the floor there, which should be just above 50 meters. Anyway, that moving all the way down, it's time to move up to the next one, which is going to be at 200, which is once again a small block piston, or small block pulley system, which should be right over here. So once again, I kept the consistent design with the hazard skin, rotating lights, a battery and a beacon to mark the range. And once again, a button is going to appear. There we go. Although this one does not need a button, so I'm not too sure why I just did that. I just fly up to this panel, not that character, I want this character, come into this and actually use it like so. So unlike the previous mod, where it did have a panel but you couldn't interact with it, this one has a fully interactable panel to customize this how you want. And once again, what I'm going to do is now reverse this up with its default settings, which is all the general settings a usual piston has. Move on to the side, and there we go, it's now going to spin around, or at least that warning sign's going to spin around. And to the opposite. There we are, we also got a nice little sound effect, I'm not too sure how well that's going to come through on the video. And I can shove the camera all the way through, so we can see another moving part, which is going to be the rope actually spooling out. So around to here, and there we are, we just about make it out. Can I actually angle this correctly? Can't really do it too much, hoping we can sort of see it like so. I suppose that is sort of good enough if I just stay here long enough. So there we are, that's now all spinning around behind that glass. Then looking all the way down to here, here it is extending all the way out. Moving down once again, very similar to the one I showed you in the previous video. We've got two little hooks on the side of this panel. And once again, non-magnetic plate, we've got to build off it, depending on what we want to do. Anyway, that's going to keep going all the way down to the ground, 200 meters. So it's time to move on to the next one, which is the large block version, the only large block version, which can go up to 500 meters, or well, correction with that, it'll be 497.5. But all the way up we go. Here we are, so 200 to 500. Once again, consistent pattern with this, but no rotating lights for whatever reason. And here we are. So yes, this is going to be basically the same as the one we just saw in terms of model. So coming up to this, pressing this, reversing it, and we're going to just increase speed a little bit on the side. Towards around there, we see the little rope unfurling inside. And on the opposite. There we go. Now as that comes all the way down, we cannot fly in the middle here because it is a solid thing. And we can, if I get it just right, I can actually land down onto the side here. All the way down. Dropping that. Nope, I'm just going to bounce away. But there is the bottom of that. I'll keep going down and down and down until it gets to its maximum range, which is once again 500. But anyway, dropping all the way down to the ground. Here we go, we're going to see what the small ones are doing. There we go. And here we are, actually built that pretty damn close to the ground. And here is the small 50-meter one, ready to, well, pick up stuff. It had a magnet plate right below it. So find a magnet plate, like so. And trying to put it underneath here, tilting the character all the way around. And there we are, now we'll just pick up anything it comes into contact with. And now we can just pull it all the way up and above, away from the ground. Looking up to here, there's the other one. That one looks like it's going to keep going. Is it still going? Yes, it is. I thought it was stopped for a second, so I was a bit worried there. But no, it's now going all the way down to the ground. The other one will be a little bit quicker. I suppose what I could do is now come up to that little thing and actually make it go a bit faster. And we'll get them all down to the ground, so they're side by side. So here we are. Now just whacked them up to the maximum speed. The second small one has completed. The large one is now about to complete. So here it is coming down. It should be very close to the ground. And there we are. Nice bit of clearance for me to actually continue on with this video, showing a small demonstration of what you can do with it. Yes, over here. Here's that one. Once again, we can just put stuff underneath it, depending on what you want to do. That one we've already seen. So I suppose the final thing to do with this thing is to, well, build a platform on here, go all the way up with this thing, then I'll go through the build costs, and that'll be done for this video. But there will be one more thing to actually test with this. In my previous video, I attached this onto a large block ship, then actually had the pulley system, or at least the cables right here, collide with a mountainside, which caused a horrific amount of lag. So I'm going to do that one more time to see if that works, see if it actually breaks properly, and actually stops that from happening. No, what I'm going to do now is just go and, well, try and build the catwalk onto this. I don't want to have a large steel block. That's going to be a bit silly. So we're going to go sort of like that. Just build it around. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. And if I actually get this aimed correctly, there we are. Go put that onto that side. And I missed that completely. And it looks like I can't actually build that one because it's too close to the ground. But that does not matter. Now what I'm going to do is put a button panel down. There we are. That'll do. And now what I'm going to do is add this to the button panel. Make it reverse, then all I need to do is get some power on this thing, and I should be good to go. So finding a battery, shoving a battery right there, and now hitting the button, and up we go. It's got to be very quickly, got to be very janky, because I did whack out the speed like I said, but I can come into here, find the actual pulley system. There we go, that should be the correct one, and I'm going to slow it down just a little bit, about 5 meters per second, and there we are. We're now perfectly smooth, going all the way up, like a super long elevator. But yes, while we're doing that, into here once again, finding pulley systems, and here we go. So yes, we've got a head to attach on if you want to do that, or to use these heads as a decorative piece on your ship or base if you want to do that. But no, over here, the large block version we see is very cheap. The small block version is even cheaper. Over here, the tiny version feels a little bit expensive compared to the small block version over here, because it is identical in cost. But no, we do get a lot less range, but I suppose that is fine, because it does take up a lot less room. Free camera once again, looking away. Where is that pulley system? Where has that gone? Looks like I'm up to here, from a distance. And there it goes, all the way up to the top. And with that, now we're going to do what I said, spawn a large ship once again, and actually test the cables out, see if they actually explode, or if they make the game lag out or crash. Because as it stands out, it's an absolutely fantastic upgrade to the pulley system mod. I do love the custom models on this. It makes it look so much better compared to fake little safe zone generator it was attached onto. It was a great way to actually work around the limitations of that. But having a proper model, actually having proper spinny parts on the side, does make it look a hell of a lot better. So here we go to end this video, and to check this once again, instead of using a large block ship with a large block pulley system, because we've got small block versions, I'm now going to use the 200 meter one on the good old Dex Fighter by replacing its connector. And we're going to press number 2, extend that all the way out, and we'll start to fly towards this mountainside to see what happens. Now that is getting a little bit janky here. In fact, that's a very odd thing which is happening. It appears to be, well, making this very unstable to drive around. Now I'm not fiddling this around, I'm not actually pressing A or D. I'm trying to fight it with the mouse, but it does not want to actually control it. I'm now going to tip over, and that is a very odd thing to actually start happening. But it looks like I have recovered it, and I'm trying to get back over to that mountainside. It's fighting me quite a lot here. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that. We're now putting that all the way back up. And we'll do that once I get a bit closer. But no, that's actually a fantastic thing to check. So do be aware that if you're using pulley system on a small ship, just in case you make it go a bit too fast, we'll start to lose control over your ship. But no, here we come all the way down. Keeping it nice and still. and it's still fighting me one more time. It really wants this thing to tip over, but I'm determined to get it to the mountainside if I can, but now upside down. Oh, we're spinning out. Oh god. Oh dear, we're picking up speed. Oh, and there we go. It looks like I did hit the mountainside, and it looks like that still is a problem for this mod. So yes, it will not break, it will not crumple. It looks like it does just lag out the game because it does not know what's actually happening with this mod. I'm sure that'll be fixed in the future. That is what I wanted to check out, well, before all the wacky stuff started happening with this ship. So yes, this game is running at very low sim speed. It's not lagging, it's still running at 60 frames per second. But, well, it is being a little bit odd. But anyway, hopping out of this and just leaving that to do whatever it's going to do. That will come down to here and actually see what's happening. It's being dragged through the mountainside. There it goes all the way past it. And it does look like the bottom did get damaged and it's being pulled all the way up to the top. And we need to have a new head tacked onto it. But anyway, that's that for the Advanced Pulley System mod. It's a fantastic upgrade to the original mod that I showcased. I love the model, I love the small block variants. And of course, what it can do. It does seem to still have small issues that you saw there when you actually collide with something, but I'm sure that'll be fixed in the future. But as it stands, if you're playing sensibly, if you're just using this as an elevator system, it is perfectly fine and perfectly useful in survival mode. So be linked to the description below, do wish to download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.